language learning is simple, but not easy, meaning that we acquire language through massive input. And the thing that surprises me, because it's so obvious to us now, as I think experienced language learners, is that there's a certain resistance to that. So the knowledge is there, but I get the impression that sometimes, in academia, they talk about that. The Stephen Krashen sometimes gets ignored. But the thing that strikes me the most, I think that in Canada still, in the United States, in Italy, they don't implement these simple ideas. Maybe some teachers. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that the school system hasn't realized, okay, there's people that have been talking about language acquisition more than language learning, but, this is a technical distinction. Why do you think it's people are not following suit? Why do you think the school system is not, following these, implementing these instructions, but these principles?
Well, imagine that there is a massive, I just thought of this right now, a massive industry teaching people how to ride a bicycle. They went to conferences, they went to college to learn how to teach people how to ride a bicycle. I wonder if it turns out that all you have to do is get on a bicycle and start pedaling. So do you think the people who are in the industry of teaching people how to ride a bicycle are interested in teaching the theory is, look, you want to ride a bike? Here's a bike, get on, fall a couple of times, and then you'll be okay. Are they going to teach that? I don't think so. So I think the industry, the teaching industry, it's easier to teach grammar because I taught you, the subjunctive. Now I'm going to test you on the subjunctive and I'll give you 7 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. And the reality is that until you've had enough exposure to the language, situations where the subjunctive is used, where you kind of noticed it a few times and noticed it again, until all of that has happened, all the explanations about the subjunctive are a waste of time. The good students will remember well enough to get 8 out of 10. The poorer students won't. And it doesn't mean that they'll use it correctly the next time. But it's easy for the teacher. I'm going to teach you the subjunctive. Here is the subjunctive. Writes it up on the board, blackboard and stuff. It's easy to do. I think in your book you said somewhere you don't learn or maybe it was quoting Lamcato, but you said you don't learn a language from the grammar, you learn the grammar from the language. 100%. 100%. So that means the teacher has to get out of the way. Teacher doesn't like to get out of the way. The teacher likes to impose,
You're right. And I agree with you. But I also believe that as you pointed out, I think the role of the teacher, as far as I'm concerned, is to inspire rather than instruct. So in my case, my French teacher inspired me at school and other teachers. I think it was unfortunately a minority of the good teachers, but those who taught me something, they taught me through inspiration and example rather than instruction, because then, if they tell you something, you tend to forget it, but they make you feel in a certain way. They kind of pique your interest and they talk about something. I had a history and philosophy teacher was great, a French teacher and other teachers. I remember them. I don't remember what they said. I remember how they made me feel. And I remember this inspiration that Susan gave me, especially because she came along and she told me, Luca, okay, let's start again. And of course she helped me with English, but I think the fact that she was, preparing these video cassettes, back in the day, she was recording movies and the enthusiasm she had towards me that really made me learn. So I think school is still important, but I think that to me, if I had this ideal school, I have an academy online, but this is the ideal thing is to inspire and then tell them, look, do whatever you want to do because learning is a personal road. So you learn by yourself and then we can come here and have conversations about the book you read. Even if, like you, I don't like tests, I don't like questions about the stuff I read, but still, I believe that the teachers in general still have a place, but it's more like inspiration rather than instruction. This is my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And teachers can be extremely important. Again, in your book, you talk about the why. Now, it starts with the why. If you have no interest, if you have no reason to learn the language, you're not going to learn the language. So I think in many cases, the teacher is the stimulus that creates the why. But it doesn't have to be just a teacher. It can be someone else. But the role of the teacher, I think, if I were a teacher in a classroom, how do I motivate? Let's say that there are 5% of the kids in the class who are interested. How do I get that to 10? It's never going to be 100%. But if I can at least get another 5% interested in the language, that's major.